27 airlines have been shut down in India since 1994. Jet Airways, Kingfisher, Air Deccan, Go First. Some of these had hundreds of planes, billionaire backers, and years of experience. They all ran the same route and hit the same wall. India today has around 853 commercial aircraft for 1.4 billion people. China has over 4,300 for similar population. The demand gap is real and growing. So why does every airline that tries to fill it keep dying? To understand why they keep failing, you have to understand what it actually costs to run one. Start with the plane. There are essentially two companies in the world that build full-size commercial passenger aircraft at scale, Boeing in the US and Airbus in Europe. And a third one in China. It is just entering the market but can't fly internationally because it doesn't have the certification outside China. That's it. Two companies supply the aircraft for almost every airline on Earth, and both of them have order backlogs stretching 10 to 12 years. So if you place an order for a new A320 today, you are getting it in 2036 at the earliest. So the first problem isn't money, it is the fact that you can't even get the product, which means you go for leasing from the secondary market. Older planes, typically 10 to 15 years old, available from leasing companies or airlines retiring their fleets. But used planes comes with their own problems. Higher maintenance cost, older engines, and the fact that you are buying someone else's headache. So you can buy the planes directly from the manufacturers, or you can deal with aircraft leasing companies. These companies are mostly based in Ireland. A tiny country of 5 million people controls the balance sheet of world's largest airlines, largely because of favorable tax treaties. So what does it actually cost to operate? Fuel is your biggest expense, roughly 30 to 40% of your total expenses. Recently, some states have reduced their taxes because of the Middle East crisis, but aviation fuel in India is taxed higher than most countries. You pay for it in rupees, but it is priced in dollars. Every time oil prices moves, your costs move. You have no control over this. Then the lease payment. Over 80% of Indigo's fleet is leased, and a single A320 costs roughly $3 to $5 lakh per month in lease payments every month. Whether the plane flies or not, the meter runs regardless. Then comes depreciation, meaning how much money you keep aside to buy a new replacement of the current asset. In Indigo's case, they own 20% of the planes and other assets, so they have to show depreciation on those. Then comes the pilot and crew salaries. A captain on a narrow-body jet earns 5 to 10 lakhs a month, and because there's a global pilot shortage, they know their leverage. India has roughly 12,000 pilots employed across all the airlines for around 800 planes. Then comes the airport charges, landing fees, parking fees, passenger service fees, paid to AAI or private operators like GMR and Adani. Then maintenance. India's maintenance and repair is around 30% more expensive than other countries. That's why heavy maintenance gets sent to Singapore, Sri Lanka, UAE or Malaysia. Now after all this, let's talk about how you actually make money. The obvious answer is ticket sales. But in India, most passengers go to Make My Trip or similar sites and pick the cheapest option. They are not brand loyal. They are not paying for experience. They are paying to go from point A to point B, which means you are in a commodity business where someone will always undercut you. The government occasionally steps in with fare caps. In December 2025, Indigo cancelled over 4,500 flights in 10 days. The reason was a pilot shortage. Thousands of passengers were stranded across the country. The government immediately capped fares, so even in moments when demand spikes and you could finally charge more, the regulator may not let you. The real money is in ancillaries, baggage fees, seat selection, priority boarding, travel insurance, hotel tie-ups, etc. Indigo earns 6 to 800 rupees per passenger just from these extras. The ticket is almost a loss leader. But none of this is easy money. The profit is scraped from volume. Since India opened its skies to private airlines in 1994, at least 27 airlines have gone out of business. Just from 2016, 11 airlines have exited, bankrupt, grounded or bought by competitors. And these weren't even small operators run by amateurs. Vijay Mallya built Kingfisher into the second largest airline in India. 66 aircraft, 330 daily flights, a lifestyle brand that won awards, gone in 2012. Naresh Goyal built Jet Airways over 26 years into India's largest private airline. 124 aircraft, 65 destinations, ran out of cash in 2019, never flew again. Nestle Warriors Go First. A billionaire's airline went bankrupt in 2023. Pilots and cabin crew went 6 months without salaries before the CEO quit. Even Singapore Airlines couldn't make an independent India operation work. They entered through a joint venture with Tata called Vistara, one of the best run airlines in Asia, partnered with India's most respected conglomerate. Vistara was absorbed in Air India in 2024. So why do they keep failing? Mostly the same reasons. Every time, fuel is priced in dollars and taxed heavily. Lease payments are in dollars, but revenue comes in rupees. On tickets priced by the most price-sensitive consumers in the world. Every time the rupee weakens, your cost expands, but revenue doesn't. And the market structure makes it worse. Every time a route becomes profitable, every other airlines immediately adds flights on it, and fares collapse back to zero margin. The airlines that tried to charge premium prices, Kingfisher with its King Club experience, Jet Airways with its full-service model, found that Indian passengers appreciated the service but bought Indigo for 500 cheaper. Indigo is the real winner in 30 years of Indian private aviation, and the reason is boring. They fly almost exclusively the Airbus A320 family. One type of aircraft means pilot can fly any plane in the fleet interchangeably. Mechanics know one engine. Spare parts inventory is half the cost. They turn around planes fast. A plane sitting on the ground earns nothing but costs the full lease amount. They fly their aircraft 13 to 14 hours a day. They sell their planes to leasing companies, then use the cash to order more planes. And the single biggest reason every other airline failed keeps coming back to the same thing: fuel. India spends over 12 lakh crore rupees every year importing crude oil. Whether that dependency can actually be reduced, that's the question. Watch this video next to find out.